Behind me is everyone's favorite government agency. That's right, the IRS. We're here to review the impact of the midterm elections on U.S. tax policy and business. I'm Andy Bush, political and financial market strategist and host of the Engage radio show. Key takeaway: a unified Republican Congress will move forward on tax reform with Paul Ryan leading the way, but President Obama is not likely to sign any reform bill. As a reminder, the U.S. has the worst of both worlds tax system. We tax income and investment. Now this discourages both and you get less of each. We've spent 30 years layering on adjustments to alleviate the more onerous burdens the tax code has. But it appears we've reached a breaking point and business tax reform is building momentum. And that's great news for business. Now, a unified Republican Congress means that there will be changes in the leadership of the central tax writing committees in Congress. In the U.S. House of Representatives, Republicans have retained control of the body, but will need to elect a new chairman of the powerful Ways and Means Committee, as past chairman Dave Camp is stepping down. This means there is potential for Wisconsin Congressman Paul Ryan to move from the chair of the Budget Committee over to the chair of the Ways and Means Committee. Ryan is likely to push forward on tax reform for both the corporate and individual to help solve not only the U.S. budget deficits, but also address the entitlement reform. Now, mainly, he will attempt to simplify the code by getting rid of exemptions and broadening the tax base. Now, there's been some discussion, rumors, talk that Ryan would build on the reform plan developed by Camp and be ready to present it by July 4th of 2015. Now, that would be an aggressive agenda and would be a big surprise. Now, the momentum for tax reform has been building, as I said, as the code has expanded massively since the last reform in the mid-1980s. This has reached an inflection point with all of the tax inversions that have been taking place and the U.S. Treasury Department's recent tax changes to make them more expensive. Now, sadly, this is like trying to treat a symptom of the disease instead of the disease itself. Inversions are an attempt to do two things: reduce the overall 35% tax rate that is the highest in the OECD, and access the $1.7 trillion held offshore from profits due to 35% tax on repatriated dividends. While companies are being labeled as unpatriotic for inverting, the fact is that the U.S. incents them to do so by the high tax rates. The U.S. economy would greatly benefit if the U.S. allowed these companies to bring the money back home, and if the U.S. reduced the overall tax rate to make it competitive with other nations. This influx of capital would provide a range of benefits, from stock and bond buybacks to capital investment or building plants here in the United States. Now, over on the Senate side, the chair of the Finance Committee will likely be Republican Orrin Hatch from Utah, with Democrat Ron Wyden as the ranking minority member. Both Hatch and Wyden have served on the committee since 2005. Now, Hatch is strongly in favor of reforming the tax code, similar to Paul Ryan. The good news is that there is strong potential for bipartisan support, as Senator Wyden in 2010 teamed with then Republican Senator Judd Gregg to create the Wyden-Gregg tax reform plan. Summing it up, hey, a Republican unified Congress will move forward on tax reform, but will not likely get it signed by President Obama. And the good news is that 2016 is right around the corner. I'm Andy Bush. Thanks for watching this MB Financial Midterm Election Update.